Tell us a little bit about your experience with the Zelda franchise. What are some of your favorite games? Which games have you played?
I've played almost all of them, nearly all of them, not counting the CDI abominations. But for me, can I do a ranked list? I want to rank them.
Yeah, go ahead, rank them. Actually, this will be a separate video.
Number one.
Number one.
Get some graphics flying in. Barry, can we edit that? So, number one for me is Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. It was the first Zelda game I played on my uncle's Game Boy. I'll never forget that. And the reason I pick it as my favorite over A Link to the Past, which would easily be second place, very close call, is just the story is... There's two things about it. It's the first Zelda game to give you a clear love interest, one that wasn't just implied. It was heavily implied that Marin is sort of attracted to you. She says things like, "I've wanted to know more about you ever since we met, and I hope that you enjoy spending time with me." And like, there's these sort of ideas that, as a kid, it sort of makes your heart flutter. This is a character that I need to protect, that cares about me. And then, of course, spoiler alert, halfway through the game, you find a scroll that basically says, if you wake the windfish, which is the goal of the game, then this is all a dream and everyone will disappear. Essentially, everyone will be gone, including Marin. And for a game that early in the series to present such a dark theme, that your actions might actually be destroying a universe or destroying a world and making people not exist anymore. How often does a game give you motivation to not beat it? That doesn't happen. And I don't know, just something about, and then to really sell it, there's just a perfect soundtrack. A soundtrack that, while listened to by itself, might not be that interesting, a little overly minimal, but in the context of the game makes you feel things. It makes you feel scared, it makes you feel creeped out, it makes you feel hopeful, it makes you feel a sense of urgency. There's so many different emotions, and I could, as I was just saying those, I was attaching them to specific songs in the soundtrack. And just all together with the similar gameplay to A Link to the Past, sort of its sister game, oh god, it's just so good. If you haven't played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, just do it. And then second place would definitely be A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. Majora's Mask third, because that game is so good. One of the first events that I booked was a Zelda-themed Valentine's Day party at the Geek Easy in Winter Park. It's across Cimarron from Full Sail. It's inside of a comic store called A Comic Shop. That is actually the name. But that was a huge success for me and for everyone involved, and I think having Zelda tied to that was a big part of it. But now we've gone on. I mean, we're doing a pre-party for the actual symphony at the Geek Easy, and I will be performing a Zelda-themed Zelda set and DJ set, and then I've got my own remixes that I'm going to be playing there. But in general, what I'm trying to do with Tiny Waves, what we are trying to do as Tiny Waves is, again, elevate the nerd music community to a point where the attendees will remember it for what it really is. And it's a celebration of passion, and it's a celebration of, geeky obsession, the inability to let go of an aspect of pop culture to the point where it forms who you are. That so many of us can relate to that idea, to loving Doctor Who or Star Trek or role-playing so much that when people ask you who you are, you're telling them what you love and what you do because you care so much about those things. And that's how I am with video games and video game music. And if I can spend every day trying to spread as many smiles to as many nerds' faces as possible, then I'm going to. Like, if I have that power, then I owe it to those people. Society has told me what my purpose is, and that is to make people happy who are approximately within my own demographic.